Hello, spenders. I'm Sherri from Essential Spending Planner, and today is the 19th episode of Essential Money Talks. Today, we're going to talk about, for those of you who have watched my posts over the last week, you'll know that I'm going to be talking about debt, and specifically consumer debt. This is bad debt. Okay, many of us have mortgage debt. Okay, that's an asset. And usually when you buy a mortgage, a home, it increases in value. When you buy stuff, cars, stuff, that is consumer debt. You consume them and they decrease in value as you, right after you pay for them. Okay, so that's what we're talking about today is debt. Now, if you're listening to me on Instagram, feel free to go over to Essential Spending Planner, my business page, or my Facebook group, which is Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting, to learn more. Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen and going to just go through a few things about debt. Okay, let me just get to the beginning here. Okay, so I'm Sherri Dumbrell. I am a happy spender, and here are just some of my happy spenders. And so I take people beyond budgeting to a spending plan. But we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about debt and let me just get my slideshow going. And the first thing is you need to know where you want to go. You need to, as my mug says, what is your why? Why do you want to be good with money? Where do you see yourselves in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Because today, right now, is what you need to be doing to enable you to get to where you want to go. So, but what are your pitfalls? What are your pitfalls in getting to where you are today? So 5 years ago, you had a goal of how you wanted to be financially by today. If you aren't at that and haven't achieved your goals, what were your pitfalls? Okay. And usually a lot of people's number one pitfalls is debt. It's consumer debt. And also not having a spending plan, not planning where they're going to spend their money. So where are you currently going by the actions that you're taking today and this last week and this last month? Where are those going to eventually lead you to? Because every choice we make has a consequence, or it's taking us somewhere. Okay, we don't get to choose that. So where are you going with how you are managing your money today? I talk a lot about money truths, and it's so important to know what your money truth is. I also talk about mindset, but not as much as I used to, because I found that the truth and the money truths that I teach quickly change mindset. And also the system that I teach, which is the spending planner software, it shows you your truth, your money truth. And so that immediately changes your mindset because you can see the truth and you can't be ignorant anymore in your finances. So money truths are really important to know. 1 + 1 is 2. It will never be 3. 1 + 1 in math is always 2. And that's the same with finances. There are money truths. And you need to educate yourself on what they are. Sadly, we were not taught this in school. If you were lucky, your parents did their own research and study and they taught you. But we need to take ownership of our own finances. We can't do the blame game. And it is what it is. And today is a new beginning for you to educate yourself in money truths. And then also, when you see that truth, be honest with it and follow it. So one of the first money truths that I have is save and then spend. And let's see if that's, is save and spend. You need to save first and spend second. And for some, that's could be some new news, but that is how our grandparents did it, our great-grandparents did it. They didn't have debt like we have today. That wasn't their number one problem. That is a huge problem today for many. So debt and time. Okay, I love time. I love time management. And time is good or time is bad. And when it comes to debt, time is bad. If you have debt and you are paying the minimum, then you are paying way too much. Okay. Over time, if you have debt, it is costing you so much more for whatever you put on that credit card or whatever it is that you did not have cash for to pay for. Compounding interest never sleeps, actually. It never sleeps. And so if you bought something for this amount on credit, by the time you end up paying for it, if you just do your minimum on your credit card, you would have paid, could be more than double of what that was, more like triple. And so it's really important to, if you have debt, to eliminate and get out of debt, and then change for the mindset of saving. Save and then spend. When you have money in the bank, now it's not as much now, but the interest rates will be going up. You put money in the bank and it will make more money. Okay, so that's good news. So it's all about time. Time and debt is bad. Time and savings is good. So again, I say I teach the truths. And the best truth is, and the first one you need to know is save first and spend second. It's as simple as that. In fact, it's so simple that people disregard it. But, no, there is no buts. It's first save and then spend. Now, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about consumer items, things that as soon as you buy them will lose value. And that is basically everything other than property or a home. Okay, so be honest with yourself. If you haven't saved for it, then do not spend it. Consumerism is always saying, you deserve this. You deserve this now. Okay, don't fall into the lies. Okay, you don't deserve it if you did not save for it first. They're saying you deserve this, but look at how many fingers are coming back to them. Look at that as cash. They don't care whether you can afford it or not. They just want to get the money into their bank account. So don't tell yourself or allow other people to tell you that you deserve something before you've saved for it. Okay, I'm going to show this little video and about Afterpay. Now I'm going to just share my screen or share my sound. Let me get this up on the screen.
Hi, it's John, right? It's so nice to meet you. John. I'm so sorry that I'm late. I'm never on time. If you notice any pit stains, it's because I sweat profusely when I'm nervous. I have to admit that I craved you online, and I found some great pictures of you in 2008. I sleep with my eyes open, like completely open, and I snore. My friends call me Grizzly. I haven't had the best track record with first dates. I think I'm in love with you.
Okay. So going back to my next slide. Now they're kind of saying, there we go. They're saying that Afterpay, they're advertising Afterpay. And they were showing that, she all of a sudden, all at first was telling this just was her first blind date. Doing it all at once is never a good idea, which is true. On a blind date, you should never go. And my mother told me whenever I went on a date for the first time with someone, don't tell them everything about yourself, Sherry. Let them have a bit of mystery so they'll ask you out on a second date. Where this young woman told him basically everything and way too much. And I have a feeling she did not get that second date. So it's the same with what they're saying is don't do it all at once. If you want something, just pay a little bit here and a little bit next week and a little bit next week. You get the purchase today, but you only have to do a little bit in the thing because that's what Afterpay is. You get it now and you pay for it after. But that is a lie. That is a huge consumer lie. If you have fallen for that, it's time to stop and go back to the number one money truth, which is save and then spend. Okay, Afterpay is like the marijuana of credit. Okay, now marijuana is a drug. It's not the most harmful drug, and say, oh, I only use marijuana as opposed to I have, crack or whatever they are. Wouldn't even know. But this is the start. Those little things. Afterpay is the beginning of getting into huge debt. Okay. And so really avoid Afterpay. If you can't afford it, then do not buy it. Save for it. And then when you spend, it will be much more enjoyable. If you have a credit card, cut it up, pay it off and cut it up. You do not need a credit card. Don't let anyone tell you you need a credit card. Again, you can save and then spend. And all of this gives 100% safety, financial safety for following money truths. Cars are a big thing that people get into that with, especially younger ones. Okay, there's generally, it should be no more than 20%. That's the cost of your car, what you're paying out, your petrol, all your costs involved in that. Okay, so number one, it's there to get you from A to B. So be careful not to overindulge in driving when then you can't afford other areas of your life. Because yes, cars cost a lot of money. The actual cost of the car is the cheap part, $16,000, $20,000. It's the insurance, it's the registration, it's the petrol, it's the parking, it's all these things. It's the maintenance, it's the unexpected breakdowns. Those are the things that cost money. And if you don't have a plan for it when you buy your car, then you will most likely find yourself in a situation where you don't have the money for those unexpected costs that always will come with a car. The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave to the lender. If you have debt, then you are actually a slave to someone else, the lender. You are paying for their big, nice buildings. You are paying for their lifestyle in interest. They lent you money and they are having you pay it back at quite a high rate. Even if it's a low rate, it's still helping them sustain the lifestyle that they want. And I've seen interest rates as high as 49%. If you have anything that is 49%, you need to get rid of it ASAP, because that will financially strangle you. So when we owe people money, we are a slave to them. We are doing the hard work while they enjoy the reward. And the reward they're enjoying is the financial interest that we are paying for the opportunity initially that they gave us to lend us that money. Okay, if you can, and we'll have a link in below of this video, Financial Peace Live by Dave Ramsey, who's the one on the right. It's his baby step 2. He has baby steps, and this is his second one, and it's about debt. It tells the truth about debt. He is very entertaining. He tells it exactly how it is, which is how I go. Him and I are very similar. I just tell it how it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to lie to you. Consumerism and media, they lie to you enough. Someone needs to tell you the truth about money. And along with Dave Ramsey, he will tell you the truth about money. So please check out the link below and watch it. It's about a 40-minute. If you have a partner or even any children who are working or at the age of working, have them watch this so that it will put into perspective debt. So again, going back to truth, once we know our truth, we need to be honest. But are you just putting your head in the sand and you don't even really know how much that credit card, how much it's going to cost you by the time you pay it off? Are you not preparing for those unexpected costs that will come, especially if you have a car? Another thing, like this week, we had our cooktop. Now, we've only had our cooktop for 4 years, and it just stopped. Now, if I didn't have a financial plan for the unexpected, then I do. But I have money that I can replace that. But if I didn't, that would be something that someone else could easily put on debt. So get your head out of the sand, know what it's costing you. Just an example of debt. If you have a credit card that's $10,000 and sorry, I just got a little message. I'll just check that in. Let's see. Okay. If you had $10,000 on a credit card and it's maxed out and you're just paying the minimum payment, then it is going to take you 36 years to pay that off. And it's going to cost you $64,000. Now, whatever you put on that credit card, I'm sure was not worth $64,000. If you knew that, you would not have done that. And so please understand how compounding interest works. Credit and interest rate is no good. And also anyone who's listening, I welcome you here. If you have any questions, please put some questions down below and we will attempt to answer those for you. And love to hear your comments. Okay, so what my goal is, as a certified spending planner or a money coach, is I help people become financially self-reliant, to be reliant on themselves, number one. Then, of course, we have to be reliant on our employers, for a decent amount, but not to be reliant on the government. So many people were not self-reliant when COVID hit. And so the government had to pick that bill up because of our not being financially self-reliant. And so we need to ensure that we have a working spending plan and cash reserve for those unexpected things. We always need liquid cash cash reserve that we can access for all those emergencies. Yes, there's other types of savings that we will have. And some of those, it's fine to put in short-term investment options, but you always have to have some money that's available, that's not for bills or anything, that's just there for that unexpected. Okay. Okay, so there's needs, there's wants, and there's really wants. We need to make priority that you cover the things when you get paid, that you cover the things in your needs first, your basic needs, not your luxury needs, your very, very basic needs. And then we also, to keep focus, we need to know what we really want. Again, that is, what is your why? What is your why? Because if you don't have a why and you don't know what your basic needs are and keeping to those, then you will waste a lot of money on your wants. There was a comment by Reg in the things, and she said, we deserve those things if we have the money to buy them. And that is so true. If you have saved up for something, then you deserve them. But if you haven't, then you don't. I'll tell you a little, she's a young woman. She's 19 or 20 now, but when she was 19, she lived in Brisbane and she was saving up since she was 13 to buy a home. And she just worked at McDonald's, but she had this goal, and it was just her. She had a single mom. She didn't assist her. She gave her guidance. And anyway, she went and she bought a home, and because she had saved, and she deserved to get that home because she had put in the thing. Yet during those 6-7 years of saving, she was a teenager, and there's things that she wanted, like she liked, whether it was the new Wii or whatever it was that came out, because she was a gamer. But when she saw something that she wanted, instead of taking money from the money she was saving for her house, she would start from that day that she saw it and that she decided she wanted it, and she would start saving from then until she had the money, and then she would buy it. And I thought she was so wise, as too often we steal from ourselves, steal from what we're really saving for those wants, where you can get what you want, but you need to have a plan and say, okay, I'm going to start putting this much away until I get the money, then it will just save up. So thank you for doing that, for sharing that, Reg. That's so true, that sometimes we really do deserve something, and that is once we have saved first. And also V said, I can't agree more. He says, people think that when they buy a car, it ends in filling the gas tank and going out to the car wash. No. Having a car is a long-term, if not a lifetime commitment. Fuel and the cost of the car are just the initial costs. It's the maintenance and registration that really hurt your bank. And that is so true. Thank you for sharing that, V. And all my children, we had 5 of them, that's what I would explain to them, that is the purchase of the car is the cheap part. It's the running and the maintenance of it that you need to have a plan before you go out and get that car. Lifestyle. Make sure you have all your life costs covered first before you go to your style, because it's going to be your style costs that are going to get you into debt, or you will have to put some of your life costs. You're going to go into debt to pay those because you used your cash to buy your style first. So when you get your paycheck, you need to pay your basic life costs first before you go out and start spending on the other. and never compromise and spend money that you have saving for bills for your style costs. Okay, protect that money. So there is life costs first, style second. The choice is yours, though. We're all adults, and we have a choice whether we're going to choose this impulsive spend right now. And you'll see on the left side of the screen all the many things that are thises. We tend to blame. We feel self-entitled that we deserve this right now. We'll even be a bit dishonest in our spending, knowing that we can't afford it, but we're still going to go ahead and do it. We might steal from a bill money. And so then we're going to have to struggle when that bill is actually due. So this is the impulsive spend, and that is what you really want. It's that real why. And we need to keep our eye on the goal. We need to think before we spend. We need to have that self-control. We need to be 100% honest to ourselves, to our partner, to our children, to our colleagues, to our friends, to everybody on our finances. Okay, because we have to live with ourselves. We are the ones that have to pay it. So don't fall into the trap of impressing others because you have to pay for it. Okay, so how do we get out of debt? It's simple. Number one, you have to just stop getting into debt. So you have to cut up that credit card, and you have to just stop doing that bad behavior so that it opens up an opportunity to create healthier behavior. There is a new way, and that's what I teach. Is 19 years ago, I stopped traditional budgeting. Now, this was my family 19 years ago when we went on a trip to the States, and saving up for that, I had a traditional budget. And yeah, it worked. We got there, but I thought, ooh, we had so much fun. I want to do this more. But the budgets I found were more about making sure you can pay your bills, but it didn't really help in planning for the future and ensuring you can pay your bills and planning for fun things in the future. And so that's when I found the spending plan, and that's when I stopped. And at that point, we can now finally afford the things. Yet we didn't have I was a stay-at-home mom, and my husband worked and provided for us. And this one below is us 2.5 years ago when my children are grown, and now there's grandchildren, and we all went over and surprised my mom for her 80th birthday. And my kids all had spending plans. It really helps you plan where you want your money to go, so you're totally in control of your money rather than your money in control of you. So budgeting is broken. Traditional budgets compare income and expenses and show you that it's just possible to pay your bills. It does not show you how. Okay? Income and expenses, it's a two-dimensional budget, that it's just possible. But a spending plan is a 3D budget. Yes, it has income and expenses, but we focus more on expenses. But it adds in that vital missing dimension of timing. It's the timing of your income and expenses, and seeing your future bank statement in the future, because the past is the past and it's gone, so no use of that, and knowing and seeing that everything will be covered. So the difference between a budget and a spending plan is a budget just says it's possible. It has you guessing, it brings anxiety and stress, because a lot of people actually get into debt because the budget doesn't tell them the whole truth. It only tells them a partial truth, and it's guessing. And then most of the time it's wrong. And so you go out and buy something thinking your budget said, oh, you can afford it. And then you come home and realize, oh, I couldn't afford that. I forgot about that bill, or I forgot about that expense, or that unexpected expense. And so with the spending plan, we cater for all your planned and unplanned expenses so that you will never have to go into debt again. And if you have debt, we can get you out very quickly, because we really Again, if you haven't watched the video from Dave Ramsey he talks about gazelle intensity, there is definitely a good way to get out of debt. So the spending plan is a cash flow system for your personal finances. I've done it for 19 years and I am so grateful. I have so much financial peace. All my finances are automated because it tells me my truth. And so I can totally trust it and automate everything. And I can see into the future and see that everything is going to be covered. A spending plan is like having a crystal ball of the future, your future bank account balances, so that you can know that all your bills are covered. So how would you feel if you knew all your bills were covered in the next 12 months? Please answer below. For me, it's a great feeling. And there's so many other things in life that we can worry about. We don't need to worry about finances. Finances makes your world go round, or it makes it go pear-shaped. The spending plan then shows you your future, but it also goes and shows you how, step by step, how to pay your expenses. It is a financial blueprint. It is planning your future spending, making sure it's right. And then once you know it's right, then which it shows you, then you get your actual money or actual spending to do the same thing. So you're never guessing. You know before you spend if you can afford that, short term or long term. And so I use a spending plan software. It's only $10 a month. Feel free to reach out. It's very user-friendly. I've converted Excel masters to this, and their partners have thanked me. And it is an amazing, user-friendly, simple system that can take as little as 10 minutes a week to monitor your finances. So if you do not change directions, you may end up where you are leading or where you are going. And so where are you going? Where are your current choices, your current debt level? Where is that taking you? How much more dollars are you going to be spending because you have debt and you're paying that interest? So today's a new beginning, and it's time to start today, learn from the future, but start today to create a new future. So what are the costs you are paying due to a lack of financial literacy? That's number one. What I do is I teach people financial literacy. I teach them the 6 ways we spend our money that we need to accommodate in an effective bank account structure. Teach you that bank account structure that the banks will not tell you about, and then help you create a spending plan that I did 19 years ago. And now it takes, and like I said, for me, it's like 10 minutes a month because we get paid monthly, and you initially create it and then just tweak it along the way. So financial literacy and an effective money management system. So I am a spending planner. You all have heard of financial planners. Okay, they're the ones that I help people go to. Or on the other end is the financial counselors, those who people are really struggling with debt and close to bankruptcy. But there was that whole gap in the middle of most of us who were just living paycheck to paycheck, who had little savings or had savings. Everyone lives in this area, and we all want to get to the next area so that we can go and see a financial planner and ensure that our retirement is taken care of. But we need to have the foundations and that first. And so what I do as a certified spending planner is first I can give you access to this spending plan system, which is just $10 a month. And that's even an option just to go straight on in and just do the $10. But then I also educate you because it is a mind shift. We are thinking forward, not past like a budget. And so I can help you and literally hold your hand to help you create your plan, which only takes a short period of time. And I do that through I have an online course and a group course as well. That's a weekly 8-week course that is just been so successful. and taking people from money stress to money success in under those 8 weeks. And then I also give accountability, which is so important. Just because we're adults doesn't mean we keep to our own goals. And so your goals become my goals, and I help you. So today was on debt. I invite you and I challenge you to get out of debt ASAP. As we can see, times, and I know interest rates are going up, there's going to be 2022, 23 is going to be a lot of financial hardship for many people, especially those who have debt. So please avoid, get out of debt and cut up those cards so that you can enjoy financial peace. If you're interested in learning more, go to Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting, as you will see here and there, and learn more. And you can get access to my intro course for 30 days, which will teach you a bit more about the difference between a budget and a spending plan and give you all the information you need. So thank you for joining me today. Getting out of debt is very possible, and it is very possible fast with a spending planner. You can do it. I believe in you, and I can help you do that. And until next time, choose financial peace, choose financial freedom, and I will see you next week on Essential Money Talks for our next topic. Okay, bye-bye.